Alright, now on the second half of Lost Galaxy. Let's get through this as quickly as possible. For me, that's like 2 hours. Alright. So, episode 16. Basically, this episode, Leo's all happy that his brother is alive and crap. But then he feels that now that his brother is back, maybe he should give his Quasar Saber to Mike because he was the one that pulled it out of the stone. He tries to give his sword to Mike, and Mike is basically like, I don't want that shit. Well, he was more like, look man, you've had the sword this long, it's yours. Like, maybe my destiny was to pull it out of the stone so I could give it to you. And I did like that explanation. And you know what, Leo said okay, and then he kept it. And I just love episode 16 for all the unmorph fight scenes that Leo had. Like, it was great seeing him use the Quasar Saber unmorph and power it up. Like, when he did the Quasar Saber power up mode and hit those monsters with the energy, goddamn. And then the ghost of the Magna Defender appeared to Mike and then gave Mike the power to transform into the Magna Defender, which was awesome. And he also gave him the mighty Torzord. In episode 17, Stolen Beauty, there's a whole plot of Trakeena wanting to steal the beauty of all the women on Terra Venture because she wants to be the most beautiful in the universe. But the main thing to take away from this episode is that Scorpius made this cocoon for Trakeena, and once Trakeena gets inside of it, she will shed her mortal beauty and become an insect with magnificent powers. But Trakeena basically said, look, Daddy, I appreciate that. This is cool and everything, but I like being hot, so I'm just going to be cool right here. It's alright. But Scorpius tried to force Trakeena to go into the cocoon, and Trakeena just said no, and she just ran away from home. In the next episode, basically the most important thing is that the GSA went on a special mission, and at the end they got their hands on this book known as the Galaxy Book. And knowing what this book did later on in the season, I'm sure they're regretting this shit. So then there's episodes 19 and 20, The Lost Galactabeast Part 1 and 2, and this introduces us to Deviant, the new general for Scorpius. Oh boy, Deviant. Look, Deviant is pretty much my favorite Power Ranger general, like, in the whole series. Like, Deviant is awesome. He is Darkonda, but 10 times worse. Like, man, he is just a snake. Man, I love how evil he is, man. I love it. He just wants to take over everything. Like, when he first shows up, he heard that Trakeena didn't want to go in the cocoon and didn't want all the power, but he does. And to prove to Scorpius that he is worthy of going into the cocoon, he plans to destroy the Power Rangers by using these 3 powerful Zords. However, these Zords aren't powered up yet. He needs energy to power them up, and he decides to use the Power Rangers for that. So he kidnaps Damon and Kai, and then he puts these like energy things on them, and he forces the Rangers to fight each other, and the more blows they give on each other, the more energy is used to power up his Zords. Like, that is just a deliciously evil plan, man. I love it. I love that episode. Like, seeing Damon and Kai just get weaker and weaker as they're trying to kill each other against their will, like, that shit was awesome. Like, Deviant was a boss in that one episode, man. But yeah, eventually Damon and Kai get free, and then the other Rangers show up to save them. And Deviant manages to get his Zords powered up, and so they have a big old Zord fight, evil Zords against the Ranger Zords. But the Rangers, Galactabeast, won't fight back. Why? Well, we learn in part 2 that these evil Zords of Deviant are actually missing Galactabeast. Apparently these missing Galactabeasts were in a fight like 3,000 years ago, and they got injured, and then Deviant captured them and turned them into robots and programmed them for evils. You know what? Let me just say this. Part 1 was just awesome. Part 2, while it's still good, it's not nearly as good as part 1, because they spent like half of this episode being like, why won't the Galactabeast fight? I don't understand. It's like, in part 1, Kendrix was looking into the Galaxy Book, and she saw that there was these new Galactabeasts, like their Galactabeasts were in the Galaxy Book, and then they saw this other picture of these other Galactabeasts in there. And then you have these new Zords show up, and then your Galactabeast won't fight them. It's like, really? 9-year-old me figured this out in 2 seconds, and then I'm sitting up here waiting for these adults to figure out what I figured out. It's just, that shit was aggravating. I remember that I was screaming at the TV like, they are the missing Galactabeast. Oh my God, Kendrick, you're supposed to be the smart one. I don't, or whatever. But when they finally caught up with the rest of the audience, the episode pretty good. And part 2 had like some awesome action scenes in it. But yeah, the Rangers eventually got through to the evil Zords, and then the Zords became good, and they teamed up with the Rangers. So, happy day at the end. Oh, and it's like Maya can speak with the Galactabeast, and they didn't just say, rah, 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 they're our old friends turn evil. Like, the Galactabeast could have just told Maya this. But maybe the Galactabeast were ashamed, and they just didn't want to admit that their friends have been mutilated and turned into evil robots. I don't know. Whatever. Point is, part 2 has some issues, but it's still enjoyable overall. The two-part is enjoyable overall. So after Deviant's plan fails, he knows that Scorpius will not let him use the cocoon, so he just decides to have him killed off. Yep. Which brings us to episode 21, Heir to the Throne, where Deviant tells Scorpius that the Rangers have kidnapped Trakeena and took her to Terra Venture. So Scorpius himself shows up to fight the Rangers and shit. Surprisingly, Scorpius put up a decent fight, although I remember that I wish he would have put up like an even better fight. Like, I felt that he was destroyed a little too easy for somebody who's in charge of all these evil forces, but he did put up a decent fight, so whatever. You know, seeing all those tentacles hit the Rangers and grab them and throw them around, like, that shit was kind of awesome, though. But yeah, the Rangers used the lights of Orion to finish them off. Like, Leo delivered like, the other Rangers held Scorpius down while Leo delivered, like, the final blow. Boom! And that was the end of that. Meanwhile, on Onyx, Trakeena ran into this guy named Villamax, who is basically the Ecliptor of this season. And Villamax also has like a little assistant named Kekler. And Villamax trains Trakeena to be a strong fighter. So yeah, after Villamax trains Trakeena to be like the greatest warrior in the freaking universe, and I'm not even exaggerating, she then gets the news that her father got hurt in an awful battle with the Power Rangers, so she goes back home. So, yeah, meanwhile, Scorpius is on his deathbed, and Deviant's like, Scorpius, you can't leave us, we need you. And Scorpius is like, I'm finna die. Like, Deviant, enter the cocoon and take over and rule in my stead. And Deviant's like, are you sure, Scorpius? Yeah. Okay, fuck you then, I'm about to have this battle. And as soon as he was about to enter the cocoon, Trakeena shows up. Now, the scene between Trakeena and Scorpius before Scorpius passed, like, this is one of my favorite scenes in all of Power Rangers, man. Like, this scene was just really well written. I just love it. Like, you made me care that Scorpius died. Like, he's just a monster suit. They made me care that he died because really he's a father and he's leaving his child alone. So I really felt that, man. That is some damn good writing. Oh, man. And all the lines, like, with the powers I pass on to you, Trakeena, the universe will be yours. Be a powerful ruler. Like, sweet. And then Scorpius died, and most of his body turned into energy and floated away, except for one remaining tentacle, and that turned into Trakeena's new staff. And after that, Trakeena asked Deviant who is responsible for this, and Deviant said it was the Red Ranger. And after that, Trakeena wanted the Red Ranger to die. Episode 22, An Evil Game, is one of my favorite episodes in Lost Galaxy. Trakeena has Leo kidnapped, and eventually they have this big battle, just those two, and I love it. Like, Trakeena beat the crap out of Leo, man. Like, he trying to show up, he done pulled off his shirt, showing up all the muscles, and then got his ass beat by that skinny ass chick. Awesome. And then Deviant tries to have Trakeena killed by hiring these two monster assassins. So they attack her after she beats Leo up. And then she kills the both of them. Like, man, Trakeena is just one of my favorite villain bosses of all time. Like, she is just so awesome. She just kicked all types of ass. So yeah, after she killed the two monster assassins, then like the other Rangers show up to save Leo, and yeah, they save the day after that. But really, that episode is just freaking awesome. If you have not watched this episode, like, fool, what are you waiting for, man? Okay, after this, then Maya, Damon, and Kai had like some focus episodes, and really, like, all these focus episodes are some of my favorite episodes in like all of Power Rangers. Like, I love them. episode 23, Memories of Miranoi, that's the one where Maya's friend Shauna shows up on Terra Venture, you know, and I love her explanation for it. She says, like, you remember when Miranoi was attacked and I was running for some stingwingers and then like a random portal just opened up and I ended up at Terra Venture. Now, remember how I said in the premiere, like, I hated this, but I like that the writers, like, called back to this and, it's like they realized, like, yep, that was random as fuck, but we did it anyway. I just like how they called back to it. It just made it, like, a little better for me, you know? So it turns out this was all an elaborate scheme by Trakeena to get her hands on the Galaxy Book. How she knows that the Rangers and GSA have the Galaxy Book, I don't know. But damn it, she wants that book. So, really, Shauna is a monster in disguise. So, yeah, but it's a really good episode. And some people have problems with the ep because if Shauna was a monster, how did she know all of these memories about Maya when she was a kid and stuff? Well, magic help. I get it, it's kind of a mistake, but magic. Just magic. Magic gave them all some memories. I don't know. Oh, and there's one memory in particular that I just love. Like Maya and Shauna were talking. They were like, you remember when we tried to pull the Quasar Sabers when we were kids? I loved that. Like, they were both pulling it. And then Maya, like, kid Maya was like, hey, I think it moved a little bit. That's awesome. That's some good writing right there, man. Episode 24, Green Courage, was a Damon-focused episode. In it, Trakeena's ship is like falling apart, like the engine is fucked up, so, and they can't move and the asteroid field is coming, so, you know, the ship is going to be destroyed soon. So they kidnap one of the leaders of Terra Venture, High Counselor Rainier, who is like one of my favorite, you know, regular characters of Power Rangers. I don't know why I like her so much. I just like her. Like, her lines were cool. She's just a cool person, man. It's not like she had, like, a lot of focus in Lost Galaxy, but whenever she was on the screen, she would just always say something awesome. So that's why I liked her. So yeah, the villains kidnapped her, and then Trakeena wanted Terra Venture to send a mechanic to fix her ship. So when the villains had kidnapped the High Counselor, Damon tried to fight the monsters, but he failed. So now Damon feels it's his responsibility to save her, and he's a mechanic too, so he volunteers to go. So yeah, Damon fixes Trakeena's engines, and he saves High Counselor Rainier. It's just an awesome episode. I just really like it, man. In episode 25, Blue to the Test, I really love this episode, man. It's about Kai realizing that he should trust his instincts more. Like, the plot was that one of the monsters put a spell over the leader of Terra Venture, Commander Stannon. And Commander Stannon was giving all these orders to, like, move Terra Venture to this star. And nobody else but Kai realized that if we keep moving the way that we're moving, that Terra Venture is going to crash into the star. Like, everybody else was, nah, we're not going to do that, nah. But Kai knew better. So, eventually, you know, he realized that something was wrong with Commander Stannon. And Commander Stannon and Kai had a fight. Like, an unmoored fight. Like, it was awesome. Like, I did not expect Commander Stannon to be able to fight like that. I love that episode for that long, but yeah, that episode was awesome. Eventually, you know, they destroyed the monster, you know, saved the day. It was great. But the villain planned to have Terra Venture blow up in a giant star, like that shit. That's some creativity right there. And this was a Kai-focused episode, and Kai is my favorite Lost Galaxy Ranger, so yeah. And I have to talk about episode 27, Loyax's last battle, because I love it so much. This is probably one of the best girl power episodes in Power Rangers. Like, it's a Maya-focused episode, and Maya kicks like a ton of ass in it. And they're facing off against this old monster named Loyax. He used to be good when he was younger, but he eventually fell into the crowd of evil. And now he just wants one last great battle with the Power Rangers before he lays his sword to rest. And I love his attitude towards women. It was just like old-timey, like, man, girls can't fight. Like, no girl is ever going to defeat me. But eventually, you know, Maya got through to him, like, you know, anybody can be a warrior, you know. And eventually Maya gets him to realize the error of his ways and become good again. And then he's destroyed by a Deviant. It's like, Lost Galaxy, man. How dare you make me care about this character and then just kill him.